couple of games into the preseason, so I thought it would be the perfect time to do a mailbag Q&A here on Lakers Report by Chat Sports, all things Lakers. What's up, Laker fam? I'm Hannah Kulik, aka Laker Han, and like I said, I asked you guys to send me all of your burning Laker questions through a tweet. I sent it out via my Twitter and also my Instagram. I did a cute little Instagram post asking you guys to send me all of your Laker questions. I got a ton. Really quickly, before we get into these questions, I want to make sure that you guys are following me on my Instagram and my Twitter. That way you can make sure that you are able to participate in the next Q&A, because we are definitely going to be doing a lot of these Q&As. I really want to make sure that I answer all of your questions all season long, so make sure you're following me on my Twitter at Hannah_Kulik and my Instagram at Hannah_Rose_Kulik to not only be well prepared for when I do my next Q&A, you're able to participate, but also just to keep up with all things Lakers. And before we do get into these questions, because I have a lot and I want to get to as many as possible, I want to make sure that you guys hit that subscribe button down below so that you do not miss a single second when it comes to our Los Angeles Lakers. Make sure you're subscribed not only to Chat Sports, but the new Chat Sports Lakers YouTube channel as well, because we are going to be having all of the Lakers coverage, all of the breaking news, all of the rumors, all of the post-game highlights, pre-game previews, all here on this Lakers channel. So make sure you're subscribed so you do not miss a single second of it. But let's get into these questions. You guys asked some amazing questions, starting with our first one here. It is from @Nader_Nation. He asked a few questions. So the first one says, what did you like when we played our first preseason game against the Warriors? What weaknesses did you see the Lakers need to improve on to be a championship team? And what player should the Lakers trade at the trade deadline? Okay, so really quickly, he's asking me what I thought about the first preseason game back last week when we played against the Warriors. I was extremely ecstatic because, you know, even though it is just the preseason, I still want the Lakers to win, and for them to come out firing really from the start was really exciting. Obviously, Anthony Davis looks like he's going to be a complete superstar. Could be MVP this year, could be Defensive Player of the Year this year. It's obvious he's going to have an amazing season. He had 17 points, 7 rebounds in that first quarter alone. He ended the game just playing 18 minutes, but still getting 22 points, 10 rebounds. He really just came out firing and really established himself as, you know what, I'm going to be the leader of this team and I'm going to completely ball out this year. Obviously, we also had LeBron James, who played extremely well. He had 15 points, 8 assists in just his playing time, which he only played, I think, about 18 minutes as well. So those two guys obviously have a lot of chemistry. I think something I really like to see in that first preseason game was just in general how much chemistry this team had. You know, it really did seem like this was a team that had been together for at least a year or two. They really did seem like they were very cohesive. They had a game plan out there. They enjoyed playing together, and the chemistry was really good. So that's obviously something that I was really encouraged to see, just because this is such a new team. I was expecting a little bit more of a grace period, and obviously there are, of course, going to be some hiccups along the way. I'm not expecting it to be perfect, but just in that first preseason win alone, it was very exciting because they did look like they really can play well together already in such a short period of time. Now, to answer your next question, I think this is, what weakness did you see? I mean, we've only played about 2 preseason games now. You know, I don't really know necessarily. I have to see them play a little bit more before I can assess what their main weakness is moving forward in order to win a championship. And then in terms of your third question here, what player should the Lakers trade at the trade deadline? Again, you know, it's a little too early to see. If I had it my way, I would just probably say a player that could potentially be moved is KCP, especially if Troy Daniels continues to play at a high level like we saw him play in that first preseason game where he had 14 points, he made 3 3-pointers, he was really playing extremely well. Just because, you know, KCP is a guy who's kind of been underwhelming. He just never really lived up to the hype for me. But again, I don't even know if the Lakers are going to make a trade this season at all. Again, it's just going to depend on how their season continues and how, you know, once we get into the regular season, how they played and how everything starts to flow. Okay, next question is from @Effie_M_ DVIR, I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. He asked, who is the best fit in a fourth quarter at center with AD and LeBron? I think right now it is JaVale McGee. Obviously, Dwight Howard, he only played 9 games last season, so he's a little rusty as of now. So he definitely needs some time to kind of get back to his old form and get a lot more of endurance and just kind of get back to the Dwight Howard that he's capable of being. So right now, I would say JaVale McGee is probably the best right now in that fourth quarter. But I would expect that as the season continues, if Dwight is able to stay healthy, that he is probably going to overtake JaVale and end up being not only our starting center, but also the guy who just plays center in that fourth quarter. You know, Dwight's an amazing player. He was a time when he was one of the best players in the league, certainly one of the best centers in the league, probably just the best center in the league. So he's an amazing player, but right now he's a little rusty. So I think JaVale is going to get those fourth quarter minutes until Dwight is able to kind of get some more playing time under his belt and kind of like brush the dust off a little bit there. But the next question I'm moving on is from @Alex _group_, and he asks, can LeBron bring a championship to the Lakers? Absolutely, you guys. We have an amazing team this year. We have 2 superstars in LeBron and AD. We already saw them, that they have amazing chemistry on the court together. They are very hungry. They are determined this season. They really want to do really well. You can see it in both of their eyes and just see it both of them when they play. And we have a very talented, deep roster. So I definitely think, obviously, LeBron himself can't bring us an NBA championship this season, but with our team that we have, if we are able to stay healthy, we definitely could be in serious contention for winning the championship this season. Next question is from, oh gosh, I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss on here, but the username, I promise this is it, is short_shit_2_short and fit. Do you think LeBron in his 17th year or Anthony Davis is going to lead this team? I think it's going to be a combination of both. I'm obviously not going to say that with a guy like LeBron James on your team, he's not going to be the leader of the team, because he is. We see that he is mentoring Anthony Davis right now, and he's preparing him to be the main leader and to be the best player in the NBA. We can see that LeBron is really being AD's mentor right now, but I do think that AD is going to be their #1 option on offense, and they're really going to run their offense through him and allow him to kind of be the focal point there and really build this team around him and his game. But of course, it's going to be a combination of the two for different reasons. Of course, LeBron is always going to be that leader in terms of the veteranship, and he's the best player in the NBA. It may just be the best player to ever play, so he's always going to be a leader. But I think moving forward, he's kind of prepping AD to be that leader and take over for him. But of course, the offense and the way the Lakers play, everything is going to be running through Anthony Davis, which I think gives the Lakers their best shot to win that championship and just to have a very successful season overall. So it's just going to be a combination of those two, in my opinion. But I'm curious, do you agree with me? Do you think it's going to be a combination? Or who do you just think is going to be the main leader of this team? Do you think it's going to be LeBron, or do you think it's going to be Anthony Davis? If you think it's going to be LeBron, type L down below. Or if you think it's going to be Anthony Davis, type A down below. But let's move on to some more of these questions. This next one is from Rel79, and he asked, oh, this is a Caruso one. Can Caruso overtake Rondo for more minutes, or is this more of a locker room politics situation? Caruso is actually a guy that I could definitely see as the season progresses if he continues to play well. Obviously, we saw him last season just really play well, especially towards the end of the season. If he continues to play that way, continues to play at a high level, is able to be consistently knocking down the threes, playing hard on D, then you could definitely see Caruso overtake Rondo as that starting point guard and just getting a majority of these starting point guard or just point guard minutes in general. When you look at the Lakers and their point guard situation and just the best point guard they have overall from every aspect of their game, from, you know, their ability to score, from their defense, from, you know, just the different shot selections they have, getting to the rim, shooting the basket, creating your own shot, also, you know, distributing the ball, I think Caruso may actually be the best bet. So as of now, I wouldn't assume he's going to be that starting point guard to start the season, but you definitely could see him get some of those minutes and overtake Rondo at that starting point guard spot. All right, we have a couple of people now who want to know how far I believe the Lakers will go, what seed do I think they will end up with. Yeah, so a lot of people are asking me that question, like where I think the Lakers, what seed they're going to end up with, and how far they're going to go this season. So I'm predicting, you know, if we're able to stay healthy, I believe that we are definitely a top 3 seed in the Western Conference. I know the West is super competitive, but I think there is no way that with Anthony Davis about to have the season that I'm predicting he's going to have, with LeBron having a great season, staying healthy, with our roster, you know, so deep and so talented. We really have so many shooters. If everyone's able to stay healthy, definitely top 3 seed. And I think there's no reason that you can't argue that we could definitely be in serious contention to win the championship. So that is kind of where I'm at with the Lakers right now. I'm hoping for a championship. Okay, at Darren2690 wants to know, and I know there are a couple of questions also just asking this, is Kuzma a better fit as a starter or off the bench? This is such a hard question for me just because, you know, obviously I would have predicted that Kuz was obviously going to be in that starting lineup. You know, the Lakers this summer got rid of Lonzo and Ingram, 2 guys who were not only supposed to be the future of their franchise, but guys who were definitely going to be in that starting lineup. So I didn't think it made any sense for them to get rid of those guys only to have Kuz, the only guy, member of their young core that they've kept after all of these years, be coming off the bench. But now that Anthony Davis is not going to be that center for us, he's going to be playing that power forward, I don't really know where Kuz would fit in that starting lineup, unless, of course, LeBron is just our starting point guard. But I don't think that is what's going to happen. I think LeBron is going to be that de facto point guard that he's always been, but I do still think we're going to have another guy in there at that starting point guard spot, like Avery Bradley or Rajon Rondo, possibly Quinn Cook or Alex Caruso. One of those guys I think is also going to get that starting spot. So I don't know where Kuz fits in that starting unit with those guys. But I guess coming off the bench is something that, in my opinion, could deter his career just because, you know, if he wants to be a superstar, he wants to be the Lakers, you know, 3rd scoring option. I don't really know how you can take that kind of leap to being that superstar if you are coming off the bench. All of the big young players right now, like the Donovan Mitchells, Jason Tatum, even Lonzo and Ingram, they're all going to be starters for their team. So I think if I'm Kuz, I want to start. But, I mean, coming off the bench, as long as he's in that 4th quarter in crunch time, I think that's the most important thing. But it's all going to depend, in my opinion, on how Kuz really gets off to this season. And, of course, if he's just able to be healthy, first of all, which I know is a question down here. I'm looking, there's a lot of questions asking about Kuz and his health. So we're definitely going to talk about that. But I think if Kuz is healthy, it's all just going to depend on how he kind of plays when he gets the minutes. If he's playing like a superstar and if he's knocking down his threes and if he's playing at such a high level, then I think the Lakers are going to have to move that starting spot, that starting lineup around to make him a starter. But I think maybe to possibly start the season, he may be coming off the bench. But I want to know your opinion on this because obviously I would love to have Kuzma start. I just don't necessarily know where he could be in that starting lineup unless LeBron's at point guard. And like I said, I don't think he's going to be in that starting point guard spot on opening night. So what do you think is the best spot for Kuz? Do you think he should be a starter or do you think he should be coming off the bench? If you think he should start, type S down below, or if you think he should come off the bench, type B down below. Now, before we continue with these questions, I want to let you guys in on an amazing promotion that Chat Sports' sponsor, BetDSI, is offering for us Laker fans. So if you like to bet on your favorite sports teams, does not even have to be the Lakers, doesn't even have to be the NBA, it can be the NFL, can be really whatever sports team you want to bet on. Then go ahead right now, go to chatsports.com/bet, use the Lakers promo code that BetDSI is giving us Laker fans, Lakers120, and you will get 120% deposit bonus to play. This is an amazing offer, so I really want to make sure that you do not miss out on this opportunity because I don't know how much longer we're going to be running this promotion, and it's a great one. Great opportunity to win some extra cash this season. So go ahead right now, go to chatsports.com/bet, enter Lakers120, and you'll get 120% deposit bonus. But let's move on to some more of these questions. Okay, this next question is from Jamil Sale, and he asks, will the Lakers trade for CP3 by the trade deadline? I have no idea. Again, I think a lot of that is just going to depend on how the Lakers season progresses. Right now, I would just say no, especially because we have so many guards already. I think if we make a trade, it would be for a forward because we don't have too many. Besides LeBron and AD and Kuz, we really just have Jared Dudley, who's kind of our other option, and he's obviously not going to be a guy who's going to be playing a majority of the minutes, more of a locker room guy. So I think if we were to make a trade, it would be for another forward. So I don't think we would go after another guard. But of course, if the Lakers start the season and we are struggling, and one of the main ways we are struggling is that point guard position, then possibly. But I really don't think so. I don't think CP3 is going to be on the Lakers. But I guess at the end of the day, you really just never know. All right, and then last question I'm going to answer today. A lot of people have been asking this, but this one in particular is from @Jeremy Langhorn. He wants to know what's the timetable for Kuz to come back. So right now, the timetable is still the same. You know, he's going to have an MRI when the Lakers get back from playing their games in China. So I would assume he's going to have it around the 12th, 13th, the second they get back. And then that is going to kind of determine whether or not he's cleared for full practice or if he's still not healthy yet. So there isn't really a timetable right now. There's only the timetable of when he's going to be getting that MRI. And then once he has that MRI, we're going to know a little bit more. I'm hoping, keeping my fingers crossed, praying that Kuz is going to be healthy. That MRI is going to come back perfect. He's going to be cleared to play. He'll be able to play in the rest of these preseason games and then be ready for the start of the season. But at the end of the day, I just don't know. And I know the Lakers want to be extra cautious because they don't want to do anything, have him come back too early and just risk getting hurt and being further injured and just kind of prolonging this injury. So I know they want to really play it safe. So right now we just have to wait and see what the MRI says, but hopefully it'll say that everything is good because obviously Kuz is going to be a big part of this team. The Lakers could really use him. You can kind of see that out there right now. They do need that third scoring option that Kuz is going to bring. So I'm hoping for the best, but we're just going to have to wait and see. But that is going to be it for today's mailbag Q&A. Thank you guys so much for sending in your questions. If I didn't get to answer yours, I'm sorry. I promise I'm going to do this again. Like I said, we're going to be doing a lot of these mailbag Q&As throughout the season just because I really like it. I really like answering your questions and kind of interacting with you guys. So if you ever have a question that I didn't get to, always feel free again though to message me on Twitter and or my Instagram. I try to answer as many of those as possible. You can tweet me. You can always comment on one of my pictures. I usually always respond to my comments. You can DM me, whatever you want. I want to try to answer all of your Laker questions. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it and you like these Q&As, make sure to give this video a double thumbs up. Also, don't forget to again subscribe here on Chat Sports and the new Chat Sports Lakers YouTube channel. And until next time, Laker Hannah's out. Bye, guys.